What's up guys? Today we're going to be covering a very short and snappy workout video for your abs. We're going to be going through a lot of motions that you guys can integrate into your workouts to be able to connect with the pack and create a good mind-to-muscle connection, control, and be able to develop abs underneath. But don't forget, if you want to show them off, that's all about the diet. The training just prepares them for when they're given the glory of low body fat. Let's crack on. One thing you need to remember about anything that's an accessory movement, such as forearms, calves, and abs, you can do them at the beginning of your workout, and I would recommend doing this if they're a weak point. One thing that you can do to start with is the hanging leg raises. This is a very, very good movement, but also quite demanding on the body in terms of holding your body weight up, grip holding ability, and then doing the movement itself. So this one definitely lends itself to doing it at the beginning of your training session. You can do it on what we've got here, which is just an elevated bar. Basically, all you need to be elevated at arm's length off the floor. So you're going to jump up. Sounds aggressive, but it's not. Right. From here, what we're looking for is to not be tight from the start. We want to engage our scapula and hold ourselves nice and rigid, but what we want to do is let the abs extend and stretch. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull our toes up and drive our heels down. That's going to help you stretch out the abs. From there, what we're going to look to do is engage the abs before you lift. So you engage the abs by pushing your lower back through towards the wall behind you, and then you're going to lift your legs straight up, hold, and then back down. If you can't do that just yet, you can just do it just with knees, but make sure you're not keeping your toes pointed. Toes up, bringing your knees in and up to your chest, and back down. What we're going to avoid on this is we want to avoid swinging backwards on the way back down. If you are swinging backwards, what that means is you're not engaging the lower part of your abs. You're not pulling your lower or core towards the wall behind you. So it's creating an arch in your back, which is why when you're bringing your legs down, it's swinging you backwards. If you keep that body nice and straight, you should just be a hinge point to go up and down from. So a very versatile movement that can be used in a lot of environments, inside and outside of the gym, that works the abdominals from the lower to the upper and will help you with body stability and control overall. Next up, we've got the plank, which we can take from the floor onto a stability ball. The plank is a really great movement for helping tighten up the waistline and stop a protruding gut. The reason for this is it works the internal abdominals. Outside of the 6 to 8 pack that we're all used to seeing, there are sheets and sheets of muscle underneath that are often neglected. The plank will help you gain control of your waistline and also help tighten it up. I'm going to show you 2 variations now. One where you can start on the floor with walkouts, and then we're going to progress onto the ball with rollouts. So the plank is essentially a non-moving exercise. It's more of a static hold, but we're going to put some finer little movements in there to make it harder for you to be able to progress over time. All it is, elbows shoulder width apart, hands flat on the mat in front of you or clasped, it's completely up to you. If you keep your elbows in line with your shoulder, that's going to be the easiest start position. To make the movement harder, we're going to move the elbows slightly forward over time. Now, if you're completely new to this, completely new to abs, you can start on your knees, but I'm going to start on my feet. This will be the starting position here. Now, it looks simple, but there's a couple of things you need to do. One, you need to squeeze the glutes, let the knees go a little bit soft so that the load comes off the legs and more onto your abs. And what again we're going to do, we're going to pull that lower stomach in up towards the ceiling, and we're going to avoid rounding the back. So we're pulling our belly button through to our lower back essentially. And then from there, we're going to let the knees soften off and put the load on the abs. You can see immediately my body start to shake a little bit. I'm not uncomfortable at this point, but what's happening is I'm making the abs work and I'm overloading them. So I'm going to hold this for 10 seconds. Now, if I feel like I'm comfortable enough, after 10 seconds, what I'm going to do is edge my elbows forward an inch, keeping the knees soft, engaging the abs again, pulling the core through. This is really going to start to put the pressure on the abs. Another 10 seconds, we're going to edge out a final time and hold for 10 seconds until completion. So that's a 30-second hold. 30 seconds, that's all it takes to put your abs through a really good, solid set. You can do this for around about 5 to 7 sets. Depends how many exercises you want to do. The more exercises you do, the less volume you want to do on each exercise. But if you're only going to do 2 exercises per time, do at least 5 sets with maybe a max of 7. 30-second holds, don't try and increase the time as such. What you want to do is increase that distance between the elbows and the shoulders, forcing the abs to work harder over time. Progressing from the floor, we can move onto the stability ball. The same rules will apply as doing it on the floor, but your lower back will require a little bit more strength, so be aware of that before progressing onto this. It is a bit more stressful on the lower back area. What you're going to do is the same principle. You're going to keep the knees soft, you're going to raise yourself up onto your feet, but you're going to place the elbows slightly towards the front of the ball closest to you, because when you extend out, the ball's going to need to roll underneath. So elbows towards the front end of the ball, then you're going to bring yourself up onto your feet and stabilize. Once stable, you're going to soften the knees, pull the stomach in, hold for 10. After 10 seconds, you're going to roll out and hold. This is where it begins to get difficult. Because we're on the ball now, we're having to work additionally to maintain our posture. And by the final movement, you're really extended. And that's when it's going to get very, very difficult, and it's going to become quite shaky. Just hold it as long as you can. Your goal is 10 seconds per movement, but if you can only do 10, 5, 5, that's fine. Just aim to progress and build up over time. So you have two of the same movements, but a different variation, which will help you progress further and further through your ab training. For the next one, all you're going to need is a bench or something flat outside of the gym that you could do this on. Obviously, make sure that you're safe, because we're going to extend either side of whatever it is you're sat on during this. So safety first, use your brains. I accept no responsibility for people falling off walls. What we're going to do here is we're going to be working from top to bottom of the abs. We're going to be using the legs and the upper body as almost a weight for which the abs can work against. What you're going to do is sit yourself in a comfortable position on the bench, wherever you have to have a bit of a play around with this and find your spot. I quite like to be near just towards the edge of the bench. We're going to start with the most basic way of doing this, and then we will go through to the more advanced style. But essentially, to start with, grab hold of the bench, lie your body weight back and lift your legs up. You'll immediately feel that your abs engage and take weight. From here, what we're going to do is, keeping hold of the bench, we're going to bring the knees up, and then we're going to extend out. And as we extend out, we're also going to bring the lower body down, creating almost like a plank. Remember planking? Well, we're taking it into the gym. And this is your movement. Really nice and simple. And you can obviously grip as hard or as gentle as you like on the bench to help counterbalance. What you want to progress to doing, just to start with, is slowly letting go of the bench and then just counterbalancing with your arms outstretched. This really does require a lot of ab control. Again, we're pulling our lower abs through towards our lower back, engaging the core the whole time. Whenever you're working abs, it isn't the movement that's working the abs. You can't just go through the range of motion and expect it to engage the muscle. You have to be consciously contracting your abs, pulling them tight and holding them. So when we're releasing on the way back down, we're not releasing the abs, just the limbs. It's still tight here. All I'm doing is going from a contraction to a deeper contraction. I'm holding my abs the whole time. That is vitally important to make sure you're getting a full range of motion and full activation on the abdominal muscles. 8 to 16 reps. Again, we're always looking for that same muscle building hypertrophic rep range of 8 to 12. The more control you have on your abs, the easier you'll find your ability to be able to dial in the contractions to make yourself being able to do more than 12 reps. That's the goal. The goal is to have control, to be able to make the work so hard that you don't have to do excessive numbers of reps. 1,000 sit-ups a day is crazy. Next up, all you need is a clear space and a 20 plate. So these are known as suitcase carries, and they're a very versatile exercise in terms of ability to kind of do them anywhere as long as you've got something heavy to lift. The premise behind them is that you're working the opposite side to the weight in which you're holding the arm. So if the weight is on the right hand side, what I want to try and do is level up my shoulders by pulling my obliques and abs on the left hand side into play. So I'm going to contract here and pull my right shoulder up, and my goal now is to maintain a level body whilst walking in a straight line. It is more difficult than it sounds. One of the first things that you'll feel whilst doing this, the opposite leg to the side in which you're holding the weight, the foot will want to kick out in a weird manner. And that's because you're trying to counterbalance weight your body's not used to having on one side to the other. Don't worry too much about this. What we want to concentrate on here is holding the abs nice and tight throughout the entire walk. Do not release your abs. Keep them pulled in as we have done with every other exercise. Maintain a level shoulder balance and just try and walk with a good upright posture, shoulders back, chest up, and keep a check on your glutes. Make sure that you're not letting your hips dip backwards. Doing these together should put a lot of stress on the abs. So the trick with these is to do continual reps, one after the other, just walking back and forth. Obviously, the further you walk, the more difficult it's going to be. I try to aim for at least 5 full complete walks per side, but obviously just increase length or increase volume as necessary. Final exercise. Now we're going to build this one up, but nothing in the gym gets cool points like windscreen wipers. Now this is an exercise that does require a lot of control and good upper body strength, so be aware of that before you do try it. Again, I said no responsibility for people trying to be Batman and falling on their heads. First of all, what you're going to need, again, is the same as the hanging leg raises, just something to hang off. Make sure it's very, very secure. Be careful if you're using a freestanding pull-up platform, because they can often not be designed to have the weight of a human body above the upper point of the machine, and they can tip. For those of you who don't know what windscreen wipers are, it's basically when you're holding your body out horizontally, you bring your legs up, and then you pivot from side to side, with essentially the legs being straight upright, like windscreen wipers. But we're gonna start with just knees up to the chest, and then you're gonna be able to progress through to straight legs. So hanging from the bar as you were with straight leg raises, all you're gonna do is you're going to rotate your elbows in, and then you're gonna pull your body to a horizontal angle, keeping your knees tucked up towards your chest. You're gonna need to really contract the back here. It's the back that's holding you up. You want your arms fully extended, but almost resting if possible. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to roll the knees out to the right, keeping the body nice and perpendicular to the floor as best as possible. Then we're going to bring them back to the center, and then out to the left, back to the center, and then repeat. Making sure to keep the legs at a right angle throughout this movement. Once you're capable of doing 3 good sets of around about 10 reps, you can then progress to doing the full windscreen wiper motion. My advice would be to set yourself up the same, go up keeping the knees to the chest and legs at a right angle, then just before starting, extend the legs and heels up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to do the exact same, roll out to the right, keeping the body perpendicular to the floor. Engage your arms and biceps as necessary to control the body, and you will need to do this because you're going to get contortion. So the biceps will come into play here. So make sure that you are seriously nice and fresh before doing this exercise. Do not try and do it after doing an arm workout. But the same rules apply, keeping the abs nice and tight, roll out to the right, back to the center, roll out to the left. When you first start doing the more extended motion, just aim for around about 6 reps and build up from there. Okay, so there you have it. A really solid number of ab exercises with variations that you can implement into your routine whenever you see fit. No, this is not a choker. This is a microphone around my neck so that you guys can continue to hear me. Right now you can see I'm at a decent body fat level. I can't stress enough, this is around about, I'm coming in close to the 10% mark. If you're following me already on my dedicated series, you'll understand that I follow macros. I'm in a cutting phase at the moment, so my detail around my core is getting better week to week, but that is because of the diet. The training just maintains the muscle that is under there and helps it to pop and just look a little better when it is shown through because of the diet, the cardio, and the calorie output. They are the main 3 things that you need to focus on more than just the ab training if you want to show your abs. Make sure to check out the rest of the dedicated series. There are full days of eating, including all the macros and meal ideas for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, please comment below. Guys, if you know the answer to comments that you can see and I haven't answered them yet, you know what to do. Help each other out. Let's keep this community moving forward. Make sure to hit the notification so you don't miss out on any videos. Subscribe if you haven't. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Lex, out.